What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. If you're a Chargers fan like myself, you're down bad. We're not feeling too good right now. Obviously, this is right after the Chargers and Texans played in that playoff game. And, this was a game that pointed out all the Chargers' flaws that have been there all season long, and it's a talent thing, right? And this is me being a Chargers fan. I think the Texans' defense played insane. Like, besides the one lad 86-yard TD, they did everything that they wanted to do. Derek Stingley's dog, obviously. Will Anderson's a freaking monster. And, I want to give credit to the Texans because people tried to make them out to be the underdog, and I think they were on betting lines. And if you've ever been a Chargers fan up to this point, you know that no playoff game should they be favored because of how historically how things have gone for us, right? But I think the Texans, the defense did a fantastic job because all the turnovers the offense had. I think the Chargers defense actually played really damn good. But one team's offense made plays, the other ones didn't, right? Like we have balls going off the hands and getting picked off, pick sixes and blocked kicks and things like that. The Texans just brought it where they needed to bring it. Hopefully they can make something shake against the Chiefs. Because their offense will need to play better if you want to beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. That is how that will go for sure. I want to give the Texans credit on that, right? Because the flip side is how the Chargers played. And defensively, like I said, I thought they were really damn good. But Justin Herbert, this is probably your worst game that I've ever seen you play. And as a big-time Herbert fan myself, it pains me to say, but that was bad. That was bad. It looked a little bit rattled, and I can understand why. Those three on the interior offensive line, holy shit, was that bad. How do we have four-man pressures and dudes going untouched? I get it if there's 5- and 6-man pressures, but it's 4-man. You have 5 linemen. Nobody should ever be untouched. So if Justin Herbert's getting laid out within 2 seconds of snapping the ball on 4-man rushes, some crazy shit went down, and I thought the interior offensive line, which has been bad all year long, was bad once again. And this was, for the Texans, if they were going to have success, they were going to need to run stunts and pressure up the middle and give all the credit to D'Amico Ryans and their defense. They did it. They were smart. It was a very smart decision. And for me, it sucked watching it as a Chargers fan. I was like, damn. Because I thought that they could have won this game. I thought that they had enough to beat the Texans, but they didn't. And for me, going into this season, I didn't even think we were going to make the playoffs. So I was just happy that we were there in the first place, right? I did want to see Justin Herbert get his first playoff dub, just all this social media shit that he deals with and stuff like that. But he played bad. He did. The first interception, trying to go deep to Quentin Johnson. Quentin Johnson is not catching a deep ball on a jump ball for sure. That's never going to happen. That's an issue, right? Even throwing that ball was a bad decision. It was probably one of his worst interceptions of his career. The pick six where he overthrows Ladd. Ladd could have caught it, but still, that's a bad throw. It's a bad throw. The third pick, Will Dissly, terrible attempt at catching that. How that bounces off your hands. He had another drop in the very beginning of the game that would have been like a 20-yard gain and possibly a touchdown. And yeah, so Will Dissly, you shit to bed. And sorry for all the expletives in this video, but this is just raw and uncut. I don't even have notes for this video. This is just off the dome. And I felt like they had enough to win this game. And because of these mistakes, they couldn't do it. The defense played its lights out, right? Sure, you see that I think they gave up 32 points, what the score was. But the defense was really only responsible for like 20 of those, if that. And, I think over a game, you get broken down by that when the offense is not turning your turnovers into points. I think they forced like 4 turnovers from the Texans, and I think they got 6 points off of it, which to damn near have more turnovers forced than points scored off of them is alarming. I can't wait to see what they do in the offseason. They're going to have some money. This game did kind of point out a thing to where it's like they need another receiver. Right, and we knew that. I don't know if they go big for T. Higgins and try to do that. They do need a jump ball guy. That is a fact. And I'm curious to see what they do with that. You can't just run it back with this receiving core. It's not enough juice. But ultimately, the biggest issue on their team is that interior O-line, the left guard, center, and right guard. Across the board, it's been bad all year long. And I don't know if Bozeman comes back or if they bring him back, but I would like to see them in the second round or so draft a center or draft a right guard. And I trust Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh in their drafting process because they had the best draft in the NFL this past offseason. So I'm curious to see what they do at those two spots. I think they need another corner. They need a bigger corner, for one, because they struggle with big receivers. They have all year long. So that exposed its flaw, as I've seen up until this point anyway. And those are the main things, right? Like, you need to add just a little bit more touch to the defense. And then you're going to need to probably add another pass rusher at some point because while they did get pressure, it did kind of fall off towards the end. And then the interior line. That is, for me, let me know in the comments if you disagree. For me, this is an interior offensive line offseason. That is the absolute number one priority. You want to protect Justin Herbert. If he's not getting comfort from directly in front of him, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. I do think that the Texans did kind of get to him and rattle him a little bit because these throws were like uncharacteristic. That was his first ever 3 interception game. Granted, it should have only been 2, but I'll call it like I see it. He didn't play well, but he also did not get help from Disley on these drops, the interior offensive line, and both things can be true, right? So I think it was a really good season for the Chargers, if you ask me. Like, they were not supposed to make the playoffs at any point in the offseason were they projected to be a playoff team. People had them 6 and 7 wins. I thought like 7. And they ended up getting 11. And now they're going to have some money. Their front office, to this point, has done good on who they've decided to bring in. So I have confidence going into it. But it just sucks the way it ended because they lost a very winnable game. And that's why you just have to give credit to the Texans because they made the plays when they needed to be made. Nico Collins was making plays when they needed to be made, right? Like, that's just how it was. Joe Mixon, towards the end, he needed to put the game away. He did what he had to do. C.J. Stroud, using his legs. I thought Stroud had a pretty miserable almost first half, but he made the plays that he needed to do for them to win this game. And that's what you have to do in the playoffs. And I don't think the Chargers offense did that. And conversely, I think the Texans offense did do that. So let me know in the comments, Texans fans, if you've never watched my content. I'm a big C.J. Stroud fan. I love Nico Collins. I'm a Chargers fan at heart, so this sucks, but it's just one of those things where now I guess I can kind of watch the playoffs at ease and not be stressed out. So I guess that's the glass half full in this context for me. But yeah, if you're a Chargers fan, let me know how you're feeling about the upcoming offseason, what you want to see done the most. And Texans fans, best of luck against the Chiefs. Please beat them. I don't want to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl again. So do whatever you got to do. I think the defense has been amazing, and that was why I was never confident going into this game, because when you have guys like Will Anderson, Donnell Hunter, and Derek Stingley, and there's some other name, Kamari Lassiter, there's dudes on that defense that are really damn good and fun to watch, and the Texans earned this win. And that's just the only way I can cut it. Chargers didn't play well enough. Texans made the plays they needed to make. One team's moving on, one team's not. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe if you like this kind of content. Please like the video. Really, really appreciate y'all for watching. Chargers fans, we are bolting up for next season. Texans fans, you are getting ready for the next game. So good luck. I'm done. Peace.